Hello, and welcome to Mr. Tasker's Virtual Gallery. Together, we'll explore 6 different visual art forms and focus on 6 different artists. I will also exhibit my own artwork and activities that can be done in class. Let the tour begin. Drawing, focusing on Jim Dine. Jim Dine is an American artist who can be known for his conceptual art performances, but most of all, he is known for his current contemporary pop art through painting, sculpture, and our focus, drawing. Through his drawing, Dine creates works of art using graphite and charcoal to illustrate and represent different people, plants, and animals. You can create a drawing of an animal just by looking at an image of it, or you can try drawing it from memory. What about drawing an animal using a continual line? This means you don't lift the pencil off the page until you are finished. Jim Dine is famous for his still life images of bathrobes, love hearts, and tools. Dine said he grew up around tools, coming from a family that sold tools for a living and has always been fascinated by the objects, not knowing who had made them. Using a contrast of light to dark through shading, Dine shows depth in his lines. He also uses other drawing techniques such as stripling and smudging. You can add these techniques to your drawings to really make it pop. The art of Zentangles is also a fun and creative way to show a use of these drawing techniques, as well as the use of lines and patterns that are built upon from a single shape. Painting, focusing on Sidney Nolan. So Sidney Nolan was one of Australia's most renowned modern artists who showcased Australian history and identity in his works of art through a contrast of dark, rich, and bright colours. You can explore the use of different shades of colour by creating a colour wheel, showcasing the different types of colours. Primary colours, which are only red, blue, and yellow, which aren't mixed. The second type is known as secondary colours, which are made by mixing 2 primary colours together. These colours are purple, green, and orange. The third type colours are called tertiary colours, which mixes primary and secondary colours together. As a modernist and surrealism painter from the late 1930s to his passing in 1992, Nolan is best known for his interpretations of the Australian outback in historical artworks based on the explorations of Australian landscapes, factual narratives, and notorious figures, such as the story of Ned Kelly and the landing at Gallipoli of World War I. In his work, you can see the mixing of light and dark colours with his focal figure standing out from the background and brush strokes. Nolan was influenced and found inspiration from well-known abstract artists such as Paul Keen, Pablo Picasso, and Matisse. You can create your own paintings based on influential figures or people in Australian history or historic moments in time, linking to the history syllabus and Australian identity. Printmaking, focusing on Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol began to experiment with printmaking and screen printing in the 1960s, an art form that wasn't understood or widely used or known at that time. He used a printmaking technique called silk screening, which uses a mesh cloth stretched over a heavy wooden frame. A design is then painted onto the screen by using a stencil and a squidgy force, pushing the paint through the cloth onto the paper or canvas. You can create something similar by using a photo of yourself or of a friend, a clear plastic sheet, the paint colours of your choice, and a piece of blank white paper. Another way you can create a work of art through printmaking is by making a collagraph with a piece of cardboard. You can cut out a design of shapes and figures and paste them onto a piece of cardboard to create a stencil. Then, roll some paint over the collagraph and press it down onto a blank white piece of paper. Hello, artwork! 3D, sculpture and clay, focusing on Adam Elliot. Adam Elliot is an Australian clay artist and animation filmmaker who coined the term clayography, which refers to clay animated biographies. In other words, Elliot creates fun animated films by filming clay models loosely based on his friends and family through claymation or stop-motion animation. He is best known for his Academy Award-winning short film, Harvey Crumpet, which is loosely based off himself, as well as a variety of people he knows. Elliot says that his clay models are about the size of a wine bottle and look the way they do due to a shaking disorder he has had since childhood. Elliot also uses techniques called adding on and cross-hatching, which allows the artist to join separate bits of clay to the existing model or sculpture. You can create your own clay model characters and character profiles using modeling clay or plasticine. To create clay models from a slab, a clay must be warmed up and softened with wet hands, making it more flexible and easier to work with. I decided to create a caterpillar from the story The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Once left to dry, you can paint your clay sculptures using acrylic paints and give it a wash over with glue to give it a gloss or shiny appearance. Photo and digital, focusing on Annie Leibovitz. Annie Leibovitz is an extremely well-known photographer, famous for her portraits of A-list celebrities and magazine journalism. From 1967, Leibovitz built her skills as a photographer by studying art. It was also in 1970s when she got her big break with the magazine Rolling Stones. She then appeared in a number of other well-known magazines around the world. She uses a strong contrast of bright and dark lighting to show highlights and shadows in her works, creating a mood or emotional connection with the subject. By using natural and artificial strobe lighting on the subject in the portrait, the person pops forward and the background becomes seamless and flat. Her recent series of works with Disney, titled Dream Portraits, showcased a variety of celebrities in the role of Disney characters. Compared to her earlier works, in this series she used digital imagery, computer animation, and strong saturation of colour to set the scene of the most recent and current Disney film remakes. She also shows the importance of the use of thirds, vector lines, and blurring to draw the eyes to the subject matter or person, then letting you explore the rest of the image. You can create your own portraits through photography. Practice by making a frame with your fingers and thumbs in two L shapes, or do the same with 2 pieces of cardboard. Now that you've got the hang of it, use a camera on any device and take your shots. Fiber and textiles, focusing on Sophie Standing. Sophie Standing is a textile embroidery artist who uses free motion embroidery techniques, using a variety of cotton fabrics and different coloured threads. Her work features around African animals, especially those who are endangered, creating detailed images of wildlife. Standing uses organic and earth tones with a contrast of bright and pastel colours. She also uses dark thread stitching to emphasize shadowing and to give the artwork a 3D effect. You can create your own fabric collages by sketching or tracing onto recycled materials, before cutting and pasting smaller, coloured fabrics to form a collage effect. You could follow Standing's artworks by featuring endangered animals in your creations, linking to the science and geography syllabuses. I hope you enjoyed this guided tour through my virtual gallery of art forms and artists.